Hello everyone, this is Cobalt. This is the next video in my character analysis series for Brawlhalla. I'll be doing a brief introduction of the character followed by a frame data analysis on their signatures, and if you want to skip all this and get straight into the information, there's a timestamp in the description, and don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up with the release of your favorite legend. In these analyses, I want to focus solely on the character's signatures. Light attack combos are covered much more in depth than I ever could elsewhere, and function pseudo-comparably for all characters of that weapon class. So I'm not going to be discussing the general neutral of the character with their weapons unless it pertains in some way to their signatures. Firstly, I want to give clear descriptions of the terminology I'll be using. Startup frames are the amount of frames that happen after a move has begun until the first hitbox of the move becomes active. Active frames are the duration of frames that the move contains hitboxes that can collide with your opponent. FAF, or First Actionable Frame, is the first frame available where your character is able to move again after the move has been started. For all of this data, I use the character's jump to display the first actionable frame. Lastly, on miss refers to the move not making contact with an opponent, and on hit refers to the move making contact with an opponent. I'm going to be doing my analysis today on the next newcomer to Brawlhalla, Loki the Trickster. Also, just want to say that I totally called this during the Red Raptor reveal. Loki was tasked by the gods to seal away a dangerous substance using his dimensional gateways. Little did he know what was being sealed away was Loki himself. After over 4,000 years, he finally escaped and resumed his trickster-esque shenanigans. He continues his mischief, returning to Terminus when he's not competing. Loki's weapons are Katars and Scythe. This is one of the most heavily requested weapon combinations in the game, and I'm so excited that they decided to give it to Loki. His stat distribution is 4 strength, 8 dexterity, 5 defense, and 5 speed. I will say, I'm pretty disappointed in this stat spread. I dislike that he has so much investment in dexterity, but it can't be helped. It does help with Katars slightly, but it doesn't do much for Scythe. I think he's going to be a great character, and I look forward to using him a lot. So, will the Asgardian Trickster be able to swindle his way to victory? Let's find out. Let's start with his Katars. Katar's side sig has 21 frames of startup, active frames from 22 to 43 with an FAF of 65. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. On hit, the move converts into a second hit with added active frames from 55 to 75 with a new FAF of 86. Loki leaps forward, swinging his Katars in front of him, tethered to a chain multiple times. If the move makes contact, it converts into a strong finishing blow. This sig has some insane range, movement, and honestly decent frame data for what it does, and I think it would work well as a punish option or an approach one, frankly. Katar neutral sig has 17 frames of startup, active frames from 18 to 35 with an FAF of 53. It functions the same on miss as it does on hit. Loki sends his chains through some portals above, and they intersect, creating an explosive attack. This move has some pretty good frame data, though I think its coverage is rather limited, but having the potential to provide coverage for jumping or opponents recovering high is always useful. I also really enjoy the animation for this signature. Katar's down sig has 27 frames of startup, active frames from 28 to 40 with an FAF of 63. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. On hit, the move converts into a follow-up hit with active frames from 60 to 66 with a new FAF of 80. Loki leaps backwards and throws his chains downward in front of him in a comparable manner to Queen Nai's spear signature. If this move makes contact, Loki yanks the opponent towards him and summons Jormungand to strike the finishing blow. This sig has insane coverage and range with good mobility. Definitely a standout sig on his kit for sure. Next up is his Scythe. Scythe's side sig has 19 frames of startup, active frames from 20 to 25, 29 to 33, and 41 to 45 with an FAF of 66. It functions the same on miss as it does on hit, though it does have an FAF of 65. Loki rides Jormungand upward and attacks the opponent in tandem with a flurry of strikes. This signature has average frame data, but I think functions well as a punish option for approaching opponents, and the incorporation of Jormungand is really cool to see. Scythe neutral sig has 11 frames of startup, active frames from 12 to 20 with an FAF of 52. It functions differently on miss than it does on hit. On hit, the move functions as a command grab with 2 variants depending on whether the input is passive or active. With no input, the FAF is 66, and with active input, the FAF is 67. Loki sends his Scythe through a portal and extends an active hitbox out above him. If it connects, the opponent gets yanked through the portal, and the player can choose to send the opponent directly behind them or upward at an angle depending on your input. This move has incredible frame data and has the fastest startup of any neutral signature in the game. It offers some good utility, connecting with the opponents jumping and those recovering high. It doesn't connect with grounded opponents, but it offers great conversion opportunities and some interesting utility, essentially being a second neutral light. Scythe down sig has 19 frames of startup, active frames from 20 to 28 and 30 to 48 with an FAF of 65. It functions the same on miss as it does on hit. Loki leaps through a portal below him and attacks from above. He lands with a swing from his Scythe and sends a moving hitbox forward in front of him. This sig is really neat and provides coverage for jumping opponents, those recovering high, and likely approaching opponents as well. I think it has really unique coverage that I really appreciated. It has average frame data, but I think could be useful as a read option for opponents trying to dodge out of a Scythe combo. So overall, his SIGs are slightly below average in terms of their frame data. It's honestly really impressive frame data, with only 2 of them having startup above 20 frames, and the absolute insanity of having one with only 11 frames of startup, and with the mobility offered by others and the duration of some of these hitboxes, it really seems like a good kit. These SIGs have some really great coverages as well, and I think that it'll make for a lot of great utility. Katars' side SIG has insane mobility, range, and active hitboxes. Katars' down SIG is absolutely insane with range as well with decent mobility. All 3 of Scythe's signatures have incredibly good coverage and unique hitboxes. Side SIG offers sweeping hitboxes and mobility, neutral offers utility and conversion options, and down offers punishes on airborne opponents or approaching. I think neutral SIG on Katars is the only one that I didn't think was an amazing SIG, and while not bad, it has no mobility and offers very limited coverage with smaller hitboxes than some of the others. I love every other SIG in terms of utility though, and I love the aesthetic that they went with for him and the design implementation for his signatures with the portals and the serpent. I think they did a great job, and I can't wait to see what characters they throw in next. I'm not a big fan of the stat spread, but I really think that he has the potential to be a good competitive threat. But we'll have to wait and see. As soon as a new legend drops again, I'll do one of these, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the release of the next legend, and hope to see you guys back for the next one. I'm considering doing a slightly different format for these videos without voiceover or anything, and just raw data to conserve on time. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Once again, I'm Cobalt, and thanks for watching.